You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Hello, everybody. Here we are for another great week of podcast excellence or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to be talking today with Melissa Miller, the new executive director of our Chamber of Commerce. And Jessica Pounds is here to hold her hand, so she won't freak out.
Happy Monday.
But she'll be there to also answer all questions. And we're going to talk about Miss Miller's background and how she got, informed of the job opening, and whatnot. And it turns out we have a lot of mutual acquaintances with your background in BISD, so that's going to be fun. And also, Jessica's going to help us with what's going on with the chamber.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's an old veteran. She knows how this works. Yeah. Taylor, you doing all right?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah. Well,
that's not encouraging.
I'm a big baseball fan. The Rangers blew it yesterday, so I'm trying to get over that. Well, they're still in the playoffs, but they could have done a lot better. But there you go, But anyway,
Cowboys did great.
Yeah, actually I got bored with that game after a while. I was like,
What? I was there.
Oh, really?
It was a fun game.
I've never been in Stadium while it's a ball game going on. I heard it's pretty nice.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it was Jessica's birthday yesterday.
Is it really?
Yes. So they won for my birthday.
Yeah, well,
right.
That. I read that paper. Yeah. I read that Dak said we had a special cause to play for. I guess that was yeah. Anyway, we're going to talk about the chamber and all the business that's going on and the transition to a new executive director. But first, let's talk about our sponsors, many of which are members of the chamber, which they should be. CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. Go and get a heavy-duty workout with training, supervision, programs. It's not just going there and slinging iron. It's actually going in with a fine workout. Lexi and Bailey got it going on over there. They have some programs they're putting into place. So check out their website on Burleson, CrossFitBurleson.com, and go by and check it out and see what's going on. Also, we have Shandy Stocksdale, the real estate queen of this area. She'll be closing this week because, we read in the paper about business and real estate slowing down in a lot of areas in the country, not here. And I guess Melissa can also talk about that. I mean, we're growing quite a bit. In fact, your third part of your trio, Sarah, she's where now?
She's at the opening for Freddy's. Custard. Mm-hmm.
Where is that at?
It's on 174 over by...
It's like in front of Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it in the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay. And there you go. See, that's what's happening. We're getting a lot of these places now, and because Burleson's still growing, and that's probably one of the challenges of your job, I would imagine.
Yeah, keeping up with it all.
Well, it's a better challenge than if it were declining.
Absolutely, yes.
That's a challenge.
I'll take that all day.
All right, and here's somebody that's well known to the chamber, Otto, over at our place. I was just there last week, and it's been a couple weeks since I've been there, and I kind of miss it. When I don't go for a couple weeks, I say, I'm missing out because it's a good place to go. It's a great place to eat. People are nice, and you go there often enough. Their staff is such a stable workforce that you walk in and then you pretty much can guess what you're going to get and that kind of thing. And they'll ask about how you're doing and things of that nature. So our place is really a great place to go for business. And I know Otto is also a big supporter of the chamber.
Yes.
Also another supporter of the chamber, Chris, and his partner Nathan over at the Wild Cigar and Culture. And I was just there last week, a little sponsor care, if you will, and things are going fine. I went there about 1 PM, and I saw about half a dozen people, and their laptop was out, and they were having a smoke or maybe a glass of something, and they were working, and I thought that's a way to do it. That's a whole lot better deal than going to an office every day.
That's right.
Yeah, and of course, if this week the magazine Local Life comes out, Tiffany has done it again. It'll be in your box if not already, probably at least by tomorrow. Goes to 30,000 homes and multiple businesses here in this area.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Tiffany is really, if you're looking to direct market here in the Burleson area, she's somebody you need to talk to because it goes everywhere. And a lot of businesses have like extra copies, like Otto will have like a big bunch of them stacked on the counter. And I went to a repair shop, Christian Brothers, and it gets oil change or not oil change, get it inspected. That's what it was. And there they were, on the coffee table. So, it gets around. It may not just go to 30,000 homes, but how many people pick it up and read it while they're waiting? And so,
Yeah.
So there you are. So Local Life, check it out. Also, Burleson Buzz. Now, this is somebody probably you ought to talk to. All right, since you're new to the job. This is a young man named Cody O'Brien, and he's trying to replicate the local newspaper, which we haven't had in about a decade or more. And so he's kind of a local news source for, city council meetings, some school business, sports, whatever, police reports, whatever you got going on.
He's been covering chamber events too, and so he's been doing a great job.
Mm-hmm. And he'd like to do this for a full-time living, but he still has like a day job, but he's doing the best he can. And I'm really glad to be helping him out because I think that's a really good way to get the word out. So maybe y'all to get together and talk and have an interview and be front page of the Burleson Buzz.
She was on the front page of the Cleveland Times Review.
Mm-hmm. Were you really?
I was indeed, yes.
Well, that's your old job, right, Jess?
Yes, I did. I sent them a press release. I sent the Burleson Buzz in one too, so.
Okay. It comes out he has his main issue, so to speak, is around Tuesday, and then he has like a recap on Friday.
Yeah.
And then they'll throw in sports scores. And they also kept up with the Cleburne Railroaders and all that. But we're here to talk about the chamber. Okay. Now, Melissa, you come from BISD, right?
I do indeed. Yes, sir.
How long did you work there, rather?
I worked there for 6 years.
And did what? What'd you do for them? Just hung around? And,
just for fun. Just posted up in the corner,
Well, that's good,
I was an assistant. I worked for Dr. April Shirelli.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
well, she's well known. She's been with us for quite some time.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, it was good. We had, our department did curriculum, but we also took care of some events and things like that. But schools of choice, all of those.
So, did you have an educational background, or is this you found out a few years ago that this is something you could do and be good at, and you jumped right in?
Yep.
Well, working for the district will probably acquaint you pretty well with the bureaucratic process, I'm sure.
Yes.
You got to the point in my last couple of years there, I couldn't get a paper clip without a note in God's own handwriting. So
it wasn't quite that bad when I was there. So, but it was good. It was fun to meet new people, and as I was telling them about this opportunity, they were all very excited to continue talking about.
I came in. My last 3 years with Dr. Jimerson was the superintendent, and and I always got along well with him, and I still do. But I always had this impression of him that he just walks through that building throwing ideas off like sparks, and then oh, we could do this, we can do this, and everybody's like, am I supposed to do something? Is that similar? Is that kind of like
he's definitely comes in throwing some life around.
Yeah, high energy.
Not that I was privy to ideas that come from him, but you definitely knew when he was in the building.
Oh, he's high energy.
He's good.
Yeah, well, and I like the fact that he spent a lot of time on the campuses. I was there from 1988 to 2016, and not every administrator made themselves as visible, not just superintendent, but on down. And I think that was really important for him, for his administration to be a visible presence.
Yep.
And not a intimidating one.
No, right.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be.
Right.
All of the cabinet members really do put their face on the campus, and you shouldn't just see them just because like you're in trouble or something. So it really is building and establishing relationships for sure.
Because previous administrations, if you saw somebody from administration on the BHS, or said somebody's in trouble, somebody's going to get a chewing or something like that. But when we see him, it's just him kind of strolling through and seeing what's going on. And I think that was a really good thing.
And the students know him. Like my son runs cross country, and they had a meet out at Chisenhall Park back there. And he was out there bright and early watching and supporting, cheering them on. So,
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing because, particularly for some of the sports that are not as high profile, to have somebody to see them. Your friend Sarah says, good morning. See, all the questions that are in will be on the screen.
Hi, Sarah.
I guess she's having a good time with eating custard or whatever it is over at Freddy's. So anyway, she's another former student of mine too.
Yes.
And I'm sure he told you. But anyway, back to you, Melissa. So you worked there for 6 years.
Yeah.
How did you come across the opening here at the chamber?
So BISD actually works with the chamber for a new teacher luncheon. And so I had known of the chamber just because of that connection that we had, of that overlap of new teacher, because that was one of the events that my department put on all the training and things. And so I had heard that Gabrina was leaving, and I was like, oh, I think I could do this. Yeah. I'm excited about this. And so I had kind of been looking for it online, and just when I had looked, I hadn't seen it. So I texted Sarah, and I was like, okay, so I'm going to apply for this.
So you knew Sarah prior to this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we worked together. So I texted her and got Gabrina's email and was like, here's my information. And here we are. I
always liked that new teacher luncheon, even when I wasn't a new teacher. You know, it'd be on BHS campus in the cafeteria, and I'd sneak in. Allard, get out of here! You know, it was, So, but then I'd come around at the end and get some lunch because you want to throw all that.
You came in for the good part.
Yeah. Skip all the other stuff.
That's right.
It's like if you're going to have training or some sort of presentation, you better have some food involved. But so you send in information, and they just. I know you had competition for the job because
I did do.
Jeremy Bleeker didn't give us like inside dope, but he said no, they were very impressed with the quality of candidates, and he spent a whole day interviewing people. Now, just be clear, Jeremy was very discreet, but we kind of at my little networking group kind of had an idea what's going on. Yeah, but that must have been a fun interview, though.
It was. The first one was definitely felt like interview, right? And then the second one, whenever I came in, I told Kendall, I was like, it just felt different. I felt like I was at home, and it was so relaxing, and just that I was chatting with 5 or 6 friends. And so it definitely felt, it was very comfortable and easy with them.
When you went to the interview, and your, interviews trying to sell yourself, and you have to talk about yourself, and some people aren't very comfortable doing that, and I get the impression you weren't like very comfortable doing that.
Correct. Yes.
But what did you tell them was your best qualities for this job?
I value customer service and relationship, and everything flows from relationships. So really my biggest draw to this, and the excitement that I have about moving forward, is really just being able to truly connect to you as a business owner and your business, and to partner with you. And
well, I think it's very beneficial for the fact that you are a Burleson person. You are a BHS graduate. I won't ask what year.
Thank you.
And that working in the school district, puts you in a position that you're going to be dealing with the community quite a bit.
Right.
And I think those are pretty strong qualities. Did you and Sarah get involved in this interview process, or did you have any idea what's going on?
No. So the board, they did ask us what are some things that we wanted in a new leader. What do we value? What was important to us? But that was the extent of it. So we kind of knew about how many people applied. We knew that they had some really great candidates. And then when it got down to the last 2, but we didn't know who or what direction they were going to go. So
were you concerned? I mean, was you anxious about it, or you figured it'll work out just fine?
So when Gabrina told me that she had decided to take a new position, my first thought was, I want to cry and lay on the floor, because she was like the best boss that I could have had. And, I know that she had turned the chamber around and was such a positive momentum going. And so I was a little worried at first. But then I thought, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let God handle it. And
well, that's a good plan. Brenda Michelle Omni says, what is this about? What we're talking about, Miss Omni, is the change in leadership in the Chamber of Commerce. Melissa, you've been on the job for about a week, right?
8 weeks,
okay,
yes.
Gabrina Daniels has taken another job, and which would enable her to spend more time at home. Because she has that young boy Cash that she seems to dote on quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're talking about the if and any changes are be coming, or if we're just going to be transitioning and moving forward as we always have. So we're just getting all the information here. Here I'm now messing around with my favorite thing, was trying to share this with the various platforms. Facebook and I have a very love-hate relationship. In other words, I love to hate it. Alex Phillips says, hey, by the way.
Hey, Alex.
Hello, Alex.
You'll be dealing with him a lot.
Yes.
And you won't be getting any information, I can tell you that. That's what drives me nuts, because I say, Alex, tell us what's coming into town. Alex, we got new businesses coming. Yeah, sure, lots of them. What are they? I'm not telling you.
I know. People think that we know too, and we don't.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah. So you find out in the aftermath as well. You don't have people calling, potential businesses, they call you ahead of time, or do you usually have to go and explain things to them?
Sometimes for example, Fridays is Coming. They sent a press release to us that they were actually opening their 500th location here in Burleson. So at their ribbon cutting, they're having media out there today at 11, and they're inviting the public. And so sometimes the business will reach out beforehand, but it just depends.
Yeah, and I got turned down my phone again. See, I've been doing this. This is like what number show is this, Taylor?
I think it's 500 and
it's still
something.
It's like 500.
5 or 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6, and I still forget to turn the sound down on my phone. But anyway, back to y'all. So you go in there, you go and interview, they ask you what you could bring to the chamber and all this sort of stuff. What did you tell them? I mean, I may have asked this before, but I've been distracted. So
lots of squirrels. No, it's fine. Really just a fresh take, not necessarily totally changing all the things, right? Just making it a fresh and new and fun environment and space and new offerings.
Right.
So, and an organization and structure, not that they didn't have it before, but really just starting to.
Well, I'm sure veterans of the chamber told you how Gabrina basically put it back together again.
Absolutely,
okay.
Yes.
That's the best way I could put it. Is that 5 years ago, there was a lot of, well, not even 5 years ago, 3 years ago, there was some difficulties, shall we say, with the chamber. And after all that got sorted out, Gabrina was chosen to kind of revive and reconstruct it. And she did a fantastic job with that.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So you got, I'm sure everybody's told you what a big shadow or a big role you got to fill.
Yeah. I'm thankful that they also put in, like, right behind you have a big role to fill, but they say she's really put y'all in a great place right now. Like it is a good transition. It is a good time to come in and for her to be able to, have stepped into a new role for her family. So she did, she did me a solid by setting us up well.
Well, on her last appearance, she was very, very supportive of you.
Good.
And and Jessica and Sarah as well, but she was very relieved almost, and enthusiastic that they had chosen you, and she seemed to think that you're going to really do well in this position. Because everybody wants to leave behind. When I left school, I was thinking, first of all, is this building going to survive without me? Which it did just fine. But you build a program of some sort, like I did with AP, and you hope it continues. And who is going to replace me and all this other stuff. Now I don't worry about it that much, but
it is hard in the beginning. It was hard for me to leave, things that I had done and hope that, oh gosh,
that's your baby. Taking care of, who's going to take care of your baby when you're gone?
She's really turned it around, and you want to leave it in good hands. So I totally, I mean, I appreciate that. I would want that as, the person before me.
Right, and so now you got these programs that are now we're all accustomed to hearing and seeing. And that's a good thing as well. So you started. What, a week ago, Thursday or something like that? I don't know, the 21st, 22nd?
Yes.
And it's like being thrown in the deep end, isn't it?
It is.
You have to try to, all these things that are going on and all these people that are calling you. And I'm sure they're calling and say, where's Gabrina? And or she and I talked about doing this and blah, blah, blah. And
I'm like, Jessica?
Yeah.
Do you know about this?
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you see your job as now? Because everybody puts their own spin on the job.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Right now I'm surviving. And so I'm looking forward to getting comfortable and in my role. And so, right now everything for 24 is already set. Again, so Gabrina left me in a great spot because these are all of the events that we have planned all the way throughout the year. Like you said, the ones that people are familiar with. So that is all set. So we, as the three of us new team, won't really do anything different until 25. So it'll just be continuing on what Gabrina has left with little things maybe here or there. But I'm
sure when they asked you in the interview what you would want to do differently or add to it or what kind of program or event, what did you tell them?
I wanted to see what we were already doing to know. I personally love to take things and improve them and make them better. Doesn't mean it wasn't working well before. I just like to see what else could we do? How could we make small changes to make improvements? And so really just, like I said, I want to take what we've already done. Are there any ways to improve it? How could we change it? How can we take people's feedback and again, change or improve if needed, or keep it like it is. If it's a loved thing, let's keep it a loved thing. And
well, one thing I really was impressed was the honey tour, and that was a lot of work.
That's exactly what I hear.
Yeah, and so I know it's coming.
It is coming. Yeah, we were talking the other day. It's time we need to start having our meeting already for getting things kind of lined up for that.
Well, way back in the day when the chamber did a honey tour, it was like, hey, let's have a bike race. Go out and ride, guys. And my dad did it. He was, at that time in his life, he could do that. And he was a biker and basically said, well, we had to stop at stoplights and then they had a train stopped us and basically it was just a bunch of guys riding around the country. And so one thing she did was make it much more organized with the local communities.
Yes.
So it was more like a legitimate thing,
Yes, and they love it. Everyone comes out for the honey tour.
It's much bigger now.
Yes,
it's going to compete with that one in Wichita Falls. You know what I'm talking about?
So Hotter and Hill.
Hotter and Hill.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, my dad did that for many, many years, and most years it lived up to the title. In late August in Wichita Falls.
Gosh.
But
could not do it.
No.
Well, I thought these guys are nuts. I mean, these bikers they ride these kind of bikes. They're a cult. That's all I can think of them as is.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I mean, these guys take it seriously. They're not out there with these little Schwinn's. They're at these $8,000 bikes, and there's all sorts of stuff that goes with it. And about a month ago, my dad gave away some of his jerseys that he wore, and he had like 30 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so. Yeah, whatever. It kept them off it didn't keep them off the streets.
He was on the streets.
Yeah, but kept them out of the pool hall, maybe. I don't know, but that's good. Yeah. That weekend when they connected with the city to put that little carnival together and the honey tour, that was, I've been here a long time. I lived here since 91, taught here since 88. That was probably one of the top 5 events I've seen us do as a community. Yeah,
that's what I've heard. Again, the feedback we got from that was great. And even what I have heard in just this short amount of time was how great it was, especially combining it with the city's kickoff for the summer.
Yeah, and so you'll be working with the city quite a bit.
Yes.
And that wasn't always the case.
Right.
I mean, that's happened in the last few years, but prior it was like the city and the Chamber of Commerce were like two different and completely separated entities. Now, but y'all work much more closely together, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing that for sure. I feel like people think that we're the same anyway.
No, well, that you're a part of the city government.
Right. Yes. So
we're actually a nonprofit.
That's right.
Well, most chambers aren't they all nonprofits? But they're not an arm of the local government.
Correct.
Right. So have you met some of your peers in the chamber business? I mean, you go talk to them?
I have not yet. No,
I hear
I'm part of groups on email groups, so there will be, but I have not yet.
I've heard the one in Cleburne would be somebody to talk to.
Yes, I heard the same thing.
Well, I guess because we're pretty close and all this other stuff, but I know the chambers around here work pretty closely together because. It's like, well, okay, Joshua got that business, but we're going to benefit from it indirectly, since I hope they feel the same way.
Yeah.
There's a Chamber Pros group by a guy named Frank Kenny that we're a part of. We get a lot from them. Sarah and I went to a training up in Grapevine a couple weeks ago on AI.
Oh, really?
And that was so exciting. We have a lot of things that we're bringing to the chamber just from that training. So,
well, AI, we got training at DBU for that, and we weren't excited. We had the opposite opinion because of plagiarism issues and whatever else.
Yeah.
But I guess for y'all's issues, I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I wouldn't know. But you, Jessica, you handle the social media, right?
I do.
Okay. Maybe you can tell me afterwards how you can shut down a Facebook page. I got a couple that I haven't
can help
used.
You with that.
I haven't used it in years, and so I just what am I keeping them around for? But see, that's my problem. I'm always at the tail end. I'm one of them lagging indicators, as they say. I discovered PowerPoints of about 10 years after they came out, and I thought I just landed on the moon. That kind of thing. So it's pretty tough. I guess you have to have that kind of skill now. For your job, I mean, you can't just and advertising isn't just taking an ad out in a paper or whatever. What do you consider to be your first priority as chamber executive?
Right now, my first priority is meeting people, getting out there and actually learning all of our members. I know we have a ton of them, over 500. So that probably will be hard to do at one time, but I'm really looking forward to connecting with them. And that is my first priority right now, is getting out and connecting to them.
Well, hopefully some of the members are connecting out with you and say, hey, let's get together, let's meet, let's talk, whatever.
Yes, a few of them have reached out for sure. So I am grateful to those who have already. Yes.
Well, like any other group, there's going to be a lead group, so to speak, and a lead part of that group. And I'm sure they have supportive comments, I hope, but also, suggestions and whatnot.
Yeah. Everyone has been very nice so far, which again, I am thankful for, but also I wouldn't expect anything less. I wouldn't have expected anyone to come like at me or anything like that. And all of the opportunities, like our business over breakfast and our network at nights, meeting them in those smaller settings is easier to swallow for me, but also really does give me a chance to actually say hello to a few at a time.
Well, like any new job, you first few weeks, like you're meeting all these people, your head's kind of spinning a little bit.
Yeah. I'm one person that I feel like it's easier for them to remember me instead of for me trying to remember everyone that I meet. It is a lot.
No, I when I started something else not that long ago, it's like, there's no way I'm going to remember these names.
If everyone could wear name tags and where they're from, that would be great.
Well, we're going to run through the second round of commercials. We can talk about the last network at night we did over at Gala's, and and you can tell us what you think about that. But anyway, there you go. And
speaking of
Southern Gym, it's a great place. There's another Sarah Brown. It's going to start at today until 2:00. She says.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Sarah. Ribbon cutting and press an insider preview event starting at Freddy's today until 2:00. They will be serving. I got glare on the screen. Serving our menu items free of charge. Oh, that's good. Other local dignitaries and media outlets will also be in attendance. The new restaurant is scheduled for open for business on Tuesday, October 3rd. To come show your support today. Big smiley face. I want to bring that back up after we do these because, when somebody wants a grand opening, what do you do for them? What are the mechanics of it? But anyway, Southern Gym. Here we're back to you, Kayla. We haven't forgotten you. I talked to her last week. I also went by to see her, not just to see my wife, which is just a little bonus. But she emphasized she liked for y'all out there in the vast listening audience, if you have jewelry repairs or designs you want, you better do it in October, because if you try to wait until early December, you may not get it in time for the holidays. And because this happened to her last year. She had a big rush in December, and they just couldn't get it all by December 25th. And they're going to be opening up more hours in December, more Saturdays and, on Mondays. But right now, it's still the same hours. But if you have something special you want done, don't wait. Yeah. Now, if you want to go buy something, she has inventory for that too. Having my wife work there is dangerous.
I bet it is. Yeah, it works probably really well for her. But.
Yeah. Are you a jewelry person?
My husband is not a jewelry buyer, so that doesn't work out well for me. But I'm gonna get him.
Well, that's a good place to do it, and she's going to have, different types of plans to help pay and all this other stuff. It's going to be. It really is. It's one of the nicest stores we have in Burleson. Also, thank you to our friends Old Pro. They're another chamber member, I'm quite sure. Old Pro Roofing with John Williams, 817-734-2756. He'll come check your roof out. He'll come tell you the straight story. He'll tell you what it's all about, and he won't try to upsell you, which is a nice thing. And you want to have local people do your roof. I know that when we have some sort of weather event, all of a sudden they start coming out and guys are knocking on your doors and all that. And like I say, I don't begrudge anybody making an honest living, but you want somebody you can call later, and you want somebody that you can be pretty well. You'll be very well assured that they're going to get it done appropriately. Correctly. Also, thank you to Thrive, which is a business media center. Dee Dee was going to be on last week, but then she got asked to go to Midland for the week. So, so what the business center does is the entire package. It's not just search engine optimization or email, even though it includes those things. It's also an entire business package, and it really is a good way to keep your name in front of your customers and in front of your your potential customers in front of the public. And so they have a whole package. A lot of us in BNI use it. So Thrive would be something to consider, particularly if you have a new business and you're trying to find ways to get it out there in front of people. You go ahead.
Dee Dee is one of our ambassadors.
Is it right?
So, yeah, if she is back in town from Midland, she should be at the ribbon cutting today.
Well, I know she was a member, but I did not know she was part of your leadership group.
Yeah, she's an ambassador.
Okay, you got ambassadors, you got diplomats, you got,
the Power of Heels.
Power of Heels. Yeah, it's not just one group there, but Dee Dee's, she's really, really good at this because she's helped us with this program. And it isn't like when she sells you the platform, I'll see you. She'll hold your hand.
Oh, good.
And help you figure out what it is. And, guys like me, technically inept, she was very, very good about training the people that use it. And so she's going to be around. Also, speaking of being around, Lisa Moore-Smith over at Stop Restoration. They get it right the first time. You're not ahead to know these people too?
She is one of our diplomats.
There you go. Lisa is quite the character. I'm so fond of her. She's just a wonderful person. And her husband, Morris, I've met several times, a very fine man too. And so that you talk about a lot of these jobs, you got people working in or with your home. That's a big trust factor there. You have to, you're going to be letting these people in your home. You're going to be taking their advice about what to do with it. And sometimes that advice is going to cost you money, right. But so you need to have people like Lisa Moore-Smith or, like John over at Old Pro, those type of people because, I don't know anything about their job. And they come and said, you need this, Allard? I go, oh, okay. And so I needed to be able to trust them. And these are very, very trustworthy people. And they do a really good job. And they do a lot of restoration work that people, they always think has to be some sort of catastrophe or some weather event or some other unusual circumstance. No, not really. You can get environmental damage just from a hot water heater leak and not even know it. And then you got a real problem if you don't have it looked at every now and then. So, so give them a call. And lastly, and not leastly though, Candy Gow over at U Mortgage, 817-925-2661. She'll be on the show in about 3 weeks, and she has some announcements to make, but she also will be talking about real estate and mortgage values and their interest rates and all the other news, and hopefully she'll kind of get y'all off the ledge because I know you read in the paper about interest rates, it gets pretty scary. So, but she'll tell you, and Shandy will tell you that people want to move here to the point where they'll pay and get the extra interest rate, and then hopefully in a couple of years they come down, they'll refinance. So, but they need to get in the door somehow. Okay, what was I talking about prior? Anyway, that's going to talk about what Sarah is doing. Okay, so somebody comes to you, a new member maybe, or an older member that's opening another location. What do y'all do for them?
So, we get a new member. The first thing that we do is we get them in touch with our ambassadors. They're going to set them up with a ribbon cutting. We've had so many new businesses join the chamber this year that we are already scheduled out through December for our ribbon cutting. So now we're having to start to double up and even triple up on our ribbon cutting days. And so that's great. And then we get them set up on our website where if they have a job opening, they can add that to our website, or if they have a special, whether it's member to member or for the community, they can do all those things on our website. And then we invite them to come to our next business over breakfast because those are for members only. So it's the last Tuesday of the month, and they get free breakfast, get to network, get to stand up and introduce yourself to everyone. And then we kind of just say, what do you need? What do you need from us? How can we help you?
Now, you don't have to be a new business to get some of this promotion. What if if I'm been like a 10-year member, but I have something I want promoted, I still have those opportunities as long as we fit it in the schedule. And that's another thing out, like you just mentioned, and Gabrino always mentioned, is that people call up and say, hey, I got something going on next Tuesday. Can you do something about it? I'm like, you should have called us about 4 months ago, bud.
Well,
that kind of thing.
Every Monday I send out an e-blast. Our e-blasts go out to about good. If you are not on our e-blast list, you can go to our website, burlesonchamber.com, and sign up for e-blast. I send out a new email every Monday, and it has the schedule of all of our ribbon cuttings, pictures of previous ribbon cuttings, all of the chamber events, and then we have a section for our member events. So they'll let me know what event they're having, and then I throw a link on there, so that way it drives traffic to their website. And then if they have a flyer, we post it on our Facebook page and all of our socials to kind of help them out there too.
Now, Melissa, the event of galas at Southern Gym was your first, your first year meeting with the public, so to speak.
It was, yes.
What'd you think?
It was so much fun. I appreciated the difference between the business over breakfast being kind of more structured, and the network at night is really just laid back, mingling.
Come hang out.
Yeah, it's no agenda. You're just hanging out with friends. And I love Gayla. She's so much fun.
She's very much a hostess. She was telling us about it prior to the event, and she was looking forward to it because she's a typical Texas woman. They like to have it big and like to have it great and nice, and and so she was. She wanted to know that everything was taken care of, and I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I did too.
Probably 40 or 50 people there.
Yeah, and that always doesn't happen. I mean, because
they've been getting bigger.
Yeah, we like to go to these things, but business or family get in the way of these things. But whatever. But like that business over breakfast, I'd like to go, but Tuesday mornings I'm in Dallas, and so there you go. Yeah, that's when my DBU class is. So there you go. But now the next meeting or networking night is next week, right?
It is on Tuesday.
A little closer. There you go.
It is on Tuesday.
There you go. Yeah, okay, you can move this around. It's okay. It's not going to break. So tell us about it.
It's going to be at Lost Oak Winery. What day is that? Is it the 9th?
I believe it's the 10th.
It'd be the 10th.
It's Tuesday. It's always the second Tuesday of the month.
Yes, and tomorrow's the 3rd. I know that because the Rangers are on the playoffs tomorrow.
Yes, it's the 10th.
That's how I keep track of dates, is ball games schedules.
Got it.
So at Lost Oak, you said?
4:30 to 6 p.m.
You won't have to twist a lot of arms to get people out for that one.
I don't think so. I feel like they're going to come.
The weather's supposed to be a lot nicer next week. I think it'll be in the 80s. And I believe you get one free glass of wine, and then they'll have some to purchase after that. Last year they had a charcuterie board with some really great food on there, and they had some entertainment, a band going, and
really? That's a lot of it is
fun.
Schmoozing with each other, and but it does help to have a little libation in hand, but Gayla, when she was doing it, she was wanting to have the right type of wine and all this other stuff. She wasn't going to go get the cheap stuff from the bottom shelf, but so she wanted it done just right. And I guess it's a way of showing off to the neighborhood, all your what you can do, and of course, and then with the jewelry out and all these. Oh, look at this! That was very effective.
It was great, and you got to try
it on. I definitely took some pictures and sent them to my husband.
Yeah.
I like this one.
I can't tell you how many people sit in that very chair or that one and to just go on about the jewelry store or about auto at our place or about Wild Cigars. So that's when that makes this part of the job fun because I represent good people, and so do y'all, and that makes it fun when you see your people succeed.
Yep,
that's the whole name of the game. I mean, but it's still it's I don't know, makes you feel like you're doing something decent for the community. Supporting these type of businesses. Do y'all have anything else planned out for the rest of this calendar year that y'all know of?
Yeah, we have the Holiday Bazaar coming on November 4th.
That's at Pathway, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Pathway, you'll find out, is a big gathering spot for a lot of these type of events.
Yes.
Does BSD has used it before?
They do a couple of things there, but I think it's mainly...
You use First Baptist a couple of times.
Our luncheon in January will be at First Baptist.
No booze there. No, that's my church, and so I know, so... But you know what they say about Baptists. They don't recognize the Pope, the Quran, or each other at the liquor store, so don't worry about it.
But we do have, in October is our fall luncheon. We skipped over that. We went right to the
I went to the
holiday
good stuff.
bazaar. It's okay.
I went to the shopping. I was still.
Okay.
Our fall luncheon is on October 18th.
19, I think.
19th. October 19th.
Okay.
At Pathway Church. We're going to hear an economic development update from Alex at the city. And then we have a motivational speaker, Drew Myers.
I've heard of him. I believe he's doing another event locally too, if I remember right.
He is the author of the Tacos and Chocolate Diet or Chocolate and Tacos Diet, but it has nothing to do with a diet. So it's like
misleading title. You're like, well, yeah, I can get on board with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then also, our Sierra Bank sponsors our Attendant to Win It program. And so, every single chamber member is automatically entered into this drawing that we'll do live at the luncheon. This time, the cash prize is up to $1,000.
Not that I couldn't use it. I mean, I got so much money now, right? When is this again?
Right, October 19th. So
what day would that be? That'd be a Monday?
It's a Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, if your name is drawn and you're not there, you don't get it.
Okay.
The money rolls over to the next luncheon. So then the next luncheon would be $1,250.
Well, let's see. That's incentive. It's like playing the lottery. You're going to wait to the last minute.
It is.
Now, again, I guess my brain went blank for a minute. Where is this again? Pathway?
Pathway.
And who's providing the meal?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. I know that y'all have used the culinary program over at Centennial. Yeah, and that's I hear nothing.
Oh, yeah. We use them every month for our business over breakfast. And they even cooked for us during the summer months. So even though they were off school, they still went to the school and cooked and brought it out to us. And everything they make is amazing. They're really talented kids.
Well, Melissa and I, we operated in the old BHS building, and then we go over to Centennial. Like, whoa! I mean, it was a different world, So
we didn't have all those culinary.
No, we had.
That would have been awesome.
We had a program, but it really wasn't anything like what you have at Centennial with all that equipment and whatnot. I know they had a hospitality program at BHS, and they had some CTE, but now, my goodness, I mean, look at the stuff they offer across the district, plus that gaming school and then early college program. That early college program, I think, is a really beneficial thing. I teach in that building. What's interesting, I teach about an hour ago, go teach at that building, and I'm 2 doors down from where I originally started in 1990, but I wouldn't recognize it.
That's funny. That's true. Yeah, they've done a lot of
it wasn't anything like I remember. I mean, I remember lockers, and I remember beat up old carpet and all this other stuff.
The smell.
Yeah,
that's gone.
Well, we get used to it, but it really is. It's not as nostalgic as one might think, because that's not anything. And the library. Yeah, you didn't go to the old high school.
Correct.
No, not even close. All right.
I did not. No.
Nowhere near that
Nowhere
era.
near that one.
Okay.
Nope.
So, but I'm just saying that you did miss out though, because it was such a beat up old building that it's like, oh, I spilled. Oh, no big deal. Just rub it in the carpet. I had old boys in the back of the room, and I'd see them, the spit cup, and I go,
oh no.
Yeah, and I said, that's not allowed here. I'm sorry. And they rub it in the carpet and dump their chaw or whatever, and had to dump their cup.
Times have changed.
Yeah. Well, Burles was a lot different back then. Back in the early 90s, late 80s, it wasn't as connected to the DFW area. It wasn't as big a suburb.
Right.
Most of the people that worked in Fort Worth still were just like, they didn't spend time there other than that. So, Anyway, I'm off the topic, but kind of on the topic, because now you've seen all this growth. How do y'all recruit new members? Okay, let's keep starting. First week, yeah, I know.
It's been a week.
Well, but it probably is like they say, drinking out of a fire hose.
Yeah, it is. And I truly don't mind just being thrown into the deep end. Really, I think that is how you learn to swim. But really, right now I'm learning to swim and remembering how to tread water and keep my head above. So
we've had over 120 new members this year. I think last year we had a total of 80 new members. And so we're not having to go knock door to door and say, hey, we would love for you to join the chamber. We're just doing what we're doing, and people are coming to us. So we're just showing them the value that they get with their chamber membership and how much fun that we have at our events. And they want to be a part of that. So they're coming to us, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, what attracted me to the chamber was not just, Gabrina and it also was yourself and another young lady who's Sarah is now part of it instead. That was part of it, but also it wasn't seem to be so driven, in a sense. Is like there was a lot of people to socialize and joining each other's company as opposed to desperately trying to make business deals or whatever else. Because I didn't want to be really part of that. But then I went to a couple of these things like, they're just talking about stuff, cowboys and weather and kids and whatever. And so it was a very social group. And I thought, okay, now that's more what I wanted was people. The business part will take care of itself, in my opinion.
Yes.
Sooner or later, I've used your website before when I needed some work done on a house or a car. And I've just said, okay, well, let's see who the chamber has. And there's, a listing of all these different businesses. And what I like also, the chamber does have an expectation of their members to be, not just to do their job right, but to do it appropriately and be square and honest with their customers. It's an endorsement. In fact, that's how I look at the chamber as an endorsement. And so it's a good place to find businesses, so. Now, after a week, Melissa, are you thinking, what was I thinking back in the day? Or are you glad to be here?
No, I am glad to be here. Yeah. I think it's been really fun that Sarah, Jessica, and I, we instantly, click together when we work. It's like we've worked together for 10 years.
That's helpful.
We have really started to mesh and just ideas just come flowing from us. So I'm really excited for what our team looks like and where the chamber with us looks like.
Usually the first Monday of every month, chamber has a spot on this show. We going to see you again?
I hope so.
Well, you will. It's up to you, but I want you to. I'd like to see you again. And probably as you get, we do these more, you'll get more and more accustomed to what's going on. And
yes.
And you'll find out all these questions I asked you.
Yes, I'll know the answers. I promise.
Well, no, I understand. I mean, when I first started teaching school, I was bewildered, and it took me a long time to get it together in terms of classroom management or curriculum management, all this other stuff. If it weren't for a couple of administrators at the junior high where I started, I'd have been sacking groceries in a week, and because I was absolutely dazed. And so they helped me through that first year teaching 7th grade. Then went to the 9th grade, and I had some really good support systems at Hughes as well. But it's like, it was still learning.
Yes.
It really wasn't I don't know it'll take you this long, but it took me about to my 3rd year before I found, okay, I got this, I think.
Yeah.
But I still was encountering new things even in my last year that,
Yeah, but new means growth, and so I'm okay with that. But I do hope that there is grace in the learning.
Oh, I think you'll find that most of the members will be more than glad to extend grace because they're good people.
Yeah,
and I think they're rooting for you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think you'll find that to be a very comforting group to deal with, not antagonistic in any sense of the word. So.
Yeah. So far, everyone has been very nice.
Oh, well, there might be a crank or two out there, but don't worry about it.
I haven't met them yet, so we're fine.
Yeah, heck with them, but there's always one in the group. But most of people I've encountered, and these are people that I know their businesses, but I didn't know them. They were fine and good people. So that kind of thing. So anything else you'd like to add? We're at the end of the show, so you get the last word.
Oh no. I'm good. What do you have?
Should we talk about Pass the Pumpkin real quick?
Okay,
yes, please.
Good. Okay.
Okay, so we have a pumpkin named Jackie Carver.
Wait a minute. Carver, pumpkin.
Yeah.
Okay. I got
and
it.
Jackie, like Jack-o'-lantern. Jackie Carver.
See what we did there?
So at our last business over breakfast, we did a raffle to draw a name of a business. And that first business was the Center for ASD.
Uh-huh.
So what they have to do is they take the pumpkin to work with them, and they have to take a picture of the pumpkin observing them work. So talking to customers, behind the scenes, on a lunch break, whatever. And then they post that picture on their social media using the hashtag Pass the Pumpkin. They have 24 hours to take that picture and pass it on to the next chamber member. It can be any member that they pick. And so they're also going to tag that chamber member in their Facebook post. So for one, it's kind of networking businesses that might not partner together usually. So the Center for ASD, they passed their first pumpkin to Melrose CPR. And Melrose CPR, they passed it to Harvest House. So now we're kind of waiting to see where Harvest House passes it to. But if you go on Facebook and you look up Pass the Pumpkin and the hashtag, you should start seeing our members with that. So at the end of the month, our Business Over Breakfast, which is on Halloween, we will announce the business that had the most creative photo. We're also going to have a costume contest at that Business
really
Over Breakfast.
Excited about that.
Oh boy, costume contest.
You're going to call in sick to work that day?
No, I don't know. See, it's on a Tuesday, and that's the deal. But next semester, who knows? That's it. When you're an adjunct, you find out about 2 weeks ahead of time, so it's no big deal.
Right.
Well, you survived your first podcast experience. It's not that bad, was it? Yeah, it wasn't that bad. And as you get more accustomed to the job, this will be a little easier for you. So, but usually we try to set up a time after the show is over, so you can put it on your schedule. But I think you're going to enjoy work for the chamber, and they're certainly going to enjoy having you as leader in the chamber.
Thank you.
You're going to do great.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you really will. You got two really good and supportive, strong people.
Yes.
And community people, and the community and the chamber looks to succeed, and you're going to enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay. Taylor, you doing all right?
I'm doing it.
All right. Tomorrow, I have Brooke Mathis on for Brewfest, BTX
Nice.
Brewfest. I have not met Miss Mathis before, so it'll be a new friend of the neighborhood. But,
Good.
Otto connected us, so we'll be talking about that. And I had a show planned for Thursday, but Friday afternoon, the person I had scheduled with said they had made their appointment without checking their calendar, and there's a conflict. Yeah. So right now it's an open date, and I always find something to bellyache about, immigration or taxes or,
all the fun things.
All the political stuff, that my sponsors just allow me to do, so I could do these fun things.
They cringe a little bit.
Oh, not really, because I my political stuff I'm fairly conservative, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking to be Joe Rogan. Right. Or Hannity or Mark Levin, that crowd. That's not my lane at all. So anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow and check in with Miss Mathis.
All right.